Hello friends, it's been a while since I've watched New Girl and used the characters in New Girl to talk about the autistic experience. The last video I made, I think, was on 𝗪𝗓 and Jess when they had their little female friend fight. And I basically talked about how female friendships can be very, very difficult when you're autistic, especially when you're an autistic woman, because a lot of the communication culture around female dynamics is very indirect and there's a lot of implications there. You're supposed to pick up on things that aren't directly said, which is an autistic person's worst nightmare. So if you haven't watched that video, go give that video a watch. In today's video, I want to watch the episodes where Jess and Nick basically get into a debate on whether or not people are inherently good or bad. And I think that would be really, really fun for us to talk about when it comes to being autistic and being I feel like a lot of the times when you're autistic, you could very quickly turn into a very cynical person because you see the worst in not just one person, but you see how that behavior plays out in almost everyone in different ways. And you could feel very hopeless in a sense, like just very, 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 like on such a deep soul level, cynical, and just not even in a way where you hate people, but in a way where you feel genuinely let down by life and humanity. And you don't want to be, you wish that we could be otherwise, but we're not. And it's just a lot, right? And so I feel like this could drum up a lot of really good, necessary conversations. On top of that, New Girl's just funny. It's funny to watch. It's entertaining. So I think we could stimulate our little brains in multiple different ways, get some giggles, get some laughs, feel entertained, but also, talk about these very real experiences and conversations surrounding the autistic experience. But before I get into today's episode, I am not necessarily calling these characters autistic. Whenever I make videos reacting to or commentating on TV shows, movies, whatever it is, I'm never literally calling these characters autistic. I'm just taking autistic coded characters or neurodivergent coded characters and using them as a jumping off point to talk about a very specific aspect of an autistic experience. Does that make sense, you guys? Because oftentimes when I make videos like this, I'll get commenters saying they're not autistic, and they're completely missing the point. They're completely missing the conversation trying to be had. I'm not calling these characters autistic, although I will say I was emailed by a friend of the director of New Girl, and apparently the director and this person that reached out to me very much so have had many conversations talking about how they believe the characters in New Girl are neurodivergent. So that's all I'm gonna say, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, let's just enjoy ourselves today and let's get into it.
Hey, man, this is my spot. I was here first.
That's my space, huh?
This isn't Europe.
Come on, Nick. Maybe he's a really nice guy. He's just having a bad day.
I don't care if he's a nice guy.
Get that piece of crap out of my space!
Come on, dude. Why don't you come in here,
Nick.
take my pants off, and kiss my ass?
Oh my God!
Huh? What do you gotta say now? Huh?
Oh my God!
He has
it's
a gun.
like the
He
wire.
has a gun.
Oh
Stay
my
down.
God.
You
Okay,
still think he's a nice guy, Jess?
That's what I thought!
Maybe no one's ever been nice to him. Maybe violence is his only tool to express himself.
Huh? Get
Dude, this is so funny. Oh my God. How am I Nick and Jess at the same time? Okay, I'm trying to collect my thoughts because I have my Irene thoughts, like how I relate to it. And then I'm having my zone back, thinking about it in a philosophical, conceptual way thoughts. Okay, so I don't know where to start. First of all, I feel like for me personally, as an autistic person, I very much so teeter between Jess and Nick. Jess to me represents my compassion for other people. Nick to me represents the cynicism that's born out of seeing a certain pattern play out in so many different people and in so many different ways, and you lose hope in people. And the thing is both are born out of reality. Both are logical if you think about it. It's just coming from different places. And so to me, that idealistic part, I feel like is oftentimes more quickly written off because it seems like, oh, you're not seeing what reality is. You think this person is a good person when they're screaming at us and they have a gun and they're threatening us over a parking spot. Like, obviously, this is a bad person. But Jess is actually right. She's just right in a more emotionally intelligent way, on a more humanistic way, where it's like, yes, this person probably has never ever been taught how to express themselves healthily. They've probably never had a safe, healthy outlet, which is why something as small as a parking spot gets them so angry to a point where they're threatening violence on other people. That thought process is so logical. No normal, healthy person that feels secure in themselves and was loved would do something like that. And I think the difference between Jess's and Nick's, or someone who's trying to exercise compassion versus realistic cynicism, is being able to understand the why behind a person's actions and what makes them them. You know, I feel like for the Nicks, and I've been there too, I'm both people. When you're cynical, when you're skeptical of other people, all that really matters is what you see right in front of you. This is a person threatening my life over a parking spot. They're yelling at me. They're unhinged. They're obviously not a good person. And that's all that matters. And I'm not even trying to say one is better than the other, right? If it's not already clear, if you guys haven't been watching my videos, I never have a definitive judgment of like what makes a good person and what makes a bad person and what's better and what's worse. I see the good and bad in every aspect, in every person. So when you're a very compassionate and understanding person, I think the bad that comes from that is you almost understand them so much so to a point where you don't necessarily excuse their behaviors, but you just logically understand how they arrived to that behavior and why they chose what they chose. And I think a lot of people mistake that. They think that, oh, you're so weak, you're so naive, you just think everyone's good. And it's not that. It really isn't. And I really want today's video and this conversation to really hone in on that, is that when you're a compassionate and genuinely understanding person and it's not biased, you're not too naive, you're not too delusional, and you're not seeing something. You see it, it's just you know how that person got there, and you're compassionate enough to understand that it took a lot of pain and hurt for this person to get to this point. I think what is so confusing when you're in that understanding sort of place and you're an understanding person is that there's no conclusion to it. Oftentimes it's just a simple, I see you and I understand how you got to this point. But most people, at least in American society, they want a result. They want a conclusion. So is this a good or bad person? Tell me. I don't know. All I know is that this person's hurt. That doesn't make sense. Are they good or bad? They're a person that is making a bad choice, but they're making a bad choice because bad things happen to them and they don't know what a good choice looks like. So what should we do about this person then if they're threatening other people's lives over a parking spot? I'm not sure what we should do, but I could tell you what they probably need. They probably need understanding people in their life. They probably need to learn how to healthily express themselves so that they don't do stuff like this as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't like nuanced answers, and they think when you're unwilling to make a conclusion or draw judgment right away, that's because you're incapable of doing so and you don't have the capacity to do so. You don't have the brain power. You don't have nuanced enough perceptions to arrive to a conclusion. I'm already getting so ahead of myself because we're only like not even a minute into today's episode and I'm talking about this a lot, but that's just something to think about, right?
Down! What are you doing? Get down! Don't kill us!
Don't use guns.
Stop it! Just stop it! Just get down! We're sorry. Take the spot. Just be
Sir.
Submissive.
Sorry about this guy.
But you don't
He's
apologize.
overreacting.
I'm overreacting. He has a gun, and you're dressed like a bullseye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I can't believe this is working. You out-crazied a man with a gun.
Have a good day. See, it worked. You always see the worst in people.
That's the difference, you guys. I think the cynical self oftentimes does go out of its way to discount any sort of sign that would prove your cynicism otherwise. Does that make sense? Because if you think about it, they come from different places. Compassion comes from love and understanding. Cynicism comes from fear, anger, the need to protect yourself, right? And so when there isn't a part of you that's wanting to shut something down just because it doesn't resonate with you, you can actually be a lot more logical. Whereas when you're cynical, yes, in a sense, you could be more realistic. Like, I see this person's dangerous and they're threatening me with a gun. But I think a part of that fear and that anger is not wanting to accept that there's other truths existing simultaneously with what you're currently experiencing in your reality. Yes, this is a dangerous person threatening you with a gun, but as soon as you give them any sort of patience and understanding, they're also the type of person to back away and give you the spot because they feel just seen and they feel understood for a moment, and they want to react to your understanding and your love with their version of understanding and love. And that's, I think, what's so interesting about the Nicks and the Jesses is that Jess is willing to see people, even Nick's point of view, and understand how they got there. But Nick isn't willing to understand why Jess is the way she is and why she has her views and why she is compassionate and why compassion is useful and why it is valid and why it is actually logical. You know what I'm saying? On one hand, being overly compassionate is almost too expansive, and there's no sort of like order or conclusions that you could draw from that. No quick conclusions, no immediate thing you could do about it. It's just this expansive, never-ending spider web of understanding a person more and more and why they do what they do. Whereas when you're cynical and you're like Nick, it's just very closed off, like good person or bad person. I like them or I don't like them. Do I want to interact with them or do I not want to interact with them? And then you don't have the capacity to expand outside of that and learn and grow, you know?
Starting fights with everyone, Nick. I mean, not everyone's out to get you.
He had a gun, Jess. He was literally out to get me.
Isn't Nick the most negative person you've ever met?
Absolutely. And you know what? It all pulls up right in that little sadness center below his belly button.
I mean, he's not wrong, though. His life is genuinely terrible.
You know what, Jess? I guess I don't live in a world where I smile and people do what I want them to do.
You never smile.
Smile's a sign of weakness.
No!
All right, everybody relax. Get out! It's fixed.
Wait, that is so valid on both sides. What Jess is basically saying is he's not out to get you. Him threatening your life and taking out a gun isn't even about you. It's about him expressing himself in the only way he knows how to. He's frustrated. He thinks that that spot belonged to him. And what he sees is we're here taking it from him. And he wants to guard what's his. He would have done the same thing to another person. But what Nick is saying is he was literally out to get me. He had a gun. He was threatening me. That's it. No matter what I do in life, people tend to have reactions like that towards me. Things go wrong. People treat me like shit. People walk all over me. People wrong me. People take advantage of me. That's just my life. People are out to get me. And the thing is like, Nick is right, you know? And that's what makes this episode so fun to watch, is that you see that both sides are valid. Because when we go into the flashbacks, as you'll see that Nick was actually wronged so many times in his life. And it's just like these very crazy things will happen to him that wouldn't happen to other people, but he's just unlucky. And so you understand where that logic stems from. He's just stating an objective fact of like, my life is crazy. People are out to get me. Like, things always go wrong. And it happens to me more than it happens to others. But the key difference is that Nick doesn't want to see anything outside of that reality, like what goes right for him. He doesn't want to see that there are good people sometimes. He doesn't want to see that there are people that look out for him, you know? Friends like Jess, friends like Schmidt, friends like Winston obviously love Nick and cares so much about him, but it's almost like Nick can't perceive that. And that's an ongoing theme throughout the show, where his friends are constantly showing him love and support, and he's always brushing it off. It's almost like he doesn't even see it happening because he refuses to see a reality where people are good. And therefore, he's incapable of accepting love because that would make him question the reality he's trying to hold on to, which is the world is shitty, people are shitty, and bad things happen to me. And again, like, is that really logical? People like this, cynical people, like to believe they're the logical ones. They like to believe they're the realistic ones. But are you truly realistic when you're discounting half of reality?
Okay, Nick, I'm calling the landlord. This is ridiculous.
Don't call the landlord. We don't need him here, and he's a jerk.
See, here's an example. Maybe you never gave him the chance to show you what a great guy he
No,
is.
Jess.
He's a terrible
he
person.
Sucks.
Don't call the landlord. I'm serious.
Okay.
The difference between Jess and Nick when they're debating is Jess is not disagreeing with Nick. She's basically trying to get him to see that, yes, your view is valid. Because yes, that guy with the gun is dangerous. Yes, the landlord is a jerk. But what she's trying to get him to realize is they also have the capacity to be good people if you give them a chance and if you show them compassion. And it's not even a definitive, like, they are a good person, right? It's just, I want you to at least accept that there is a possibility that they aren't just a terrible person all the time. But what Nick is doing is saying, no. He's a bad person. He's passing judgment. He's definitively drawing conclusions and saying that Jess is essentially wrong because she's disagreeing with him. And that's the difference between them two. Nick is telling Jess she's wrong. Jess is telling Nick he's right, but also there's other aspects of someone that could also be right. You see what I'm saying here?
Knock knock, Mr. Landlord. I know you probably think cupcakes are totally lame. I know I do. So if you could do me a solid and take care of those extras. Cool office. I like your bucket of gasoline. Super practical. What you got there?
Broom.
So I live in 4D. There are a lot of real safety hazards in our loft. Nothing a little landlord couldn't fix. What do you say?
No.
That's a sweet picture. How old are your kids?
I did that. It's me and my ex-wife.
So what Jess is basically doing, but it's obviously so funny because it's like, he's obviously unhinged. He's in his little basement sharpening a stick for what? But what she's basically trying to do is affirm him and show him that all of these things that make you rough around the edges and scary to other people, what makes you essentially mean, doesn't have to exist all the time because the world isn't going to constantly be against you and the world isn't out to get you. There are people who look out for you, care about you, and therefore you could kind of let down your guard and let other aspects of you come out. The warmer aspects, the more loving, patient, understanding aspects of yourself. That's basically what she's trying to show him through validating his choices. Oh, that bucket of gasoline is very practical. You know what I'm saying? These are cupcakes. I hope you could take them off my hands. I made some extras. She's basically trying to make him feel safe. And when someone feels safe, they don't feel the need to protect themselves. When they don't feel the need to protect themselves, they don't come off as mean, right? Because they're not pushing you away anymore. Part of what makes people so abrasive is they're essentially trying to get people to get away from them because they believe they're going to be hurt otherwise. And Jess is like, you don't need to do that with me. Once you let down the guard, who's the person behind that armor? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to get to.
Okay, you know what? My roommates are really scared of you, but I know you're a good man, and I know you don't want the four of us living in a dangerous
The four of you.
apartment.
Apartment 4D, there's only supposed to be 3 people.
Oh, did I say 4? You know what? I was counting myself twice. So easy to do. Big personality over here, so. Hey guys, I've got a fun exercise. I'd like everybody to take a moment and think back to a time when they did something stupid, how they were treated, and how they wish they were treated.
What did you do, Jess?
Open up!
Did you talk to the landlord?
A little bit.
Okay, it's happening. Guys, go,
Ginny.
go, go. Call me Ginny.
Ginny.
I'm Ginny. I'm Ginny. Come on.
We'll be right there. Okay. Come on, this is what we train for, guys. Go. All the way, all the way, all the way.
Be careful with the debate.
Hello?
Please.
I'm freaking out!
Oh my
Told you we didn't practice this enough.
Jess, close those up.
Oh, there goes the chinos.
Brad, Coach.
Hello. I had such a nice time visiting Los Angeles. It's so many fancy people with the fancy lights. Hollywood. Oh, goodbye.
Bye, Ginny.
Thank you for memories.
You're the best, Ginny.
I love Jenny.
So someone told me you have 4 people living here.
Well, that idiot probably doesn't know what she's talking about, so you don't want to go in the library. Who left the library like this?
This is so embarrassing. I left the library like this is a mess.
You know what's so funny? This is kind of off topic, but why is Schmidt the designated person in this scenario to have to leave? Do you guys think it's because Schmidt's room is the cleanest, so it's the easiest to like get out the loft and then for him to leave because he looks like he would have enough money to travel? See, this is me reading too much into it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why is Schmidt the one that has to leave? Because I imagine getting Nick's stuff out of his room and throwing it onto the balcony is hard because his room is a mess and there's all these things everywhere. But Schmidt is like so clean and like everything's folded up and put away nicely. So I imagine it's easy to kind of like put it together and throw it out. I feel like that makes sense to me, right?
Oh, hello. Train to Panama all sold out. Must be the Mardi Gras.
To be honest, I was expecting a lot worse. So just 4 people is fine. Just paint over the sex wall and don't bother me anymore.
Hey, sir,
Let
wait.
him go.
I just want to apologize on behalf of all of us for lying to you about how many people live here.
Stop reminding him.
But while you're up here, might as well just fix a few things. Please, Remy?
How'd you know my name? They call you?
I saw your tattoo that says, hello, my name is Remy, and I took a leap of faith. Look, I know you're a good guy.
Okay, what do you want fixed?
Why don't you close your eyes and point at something?
Her, not you.
See, what Jess continues to exhibit time and time again is the simple willingness to understand another person. Like, that will go a long way. She's not trying to kiss someone's ass. She's not trying to placate them. She's not trying to excuse them. What she's just doing is saying, I'm observant of you and why you do what you do, and I'm communicating that I see it. And that simple gesture to other people, even the most hardened people, melts their exterior. The thing about hardened people, the people like the landlord, people like Nick, is that they are the way they are, closed off, not willing to understand, not willing to help. They're like that because they see through other people. It's not just that they see the bad, but they also see that people are only nice to you when they want something from you, you know? Like, if someone wants you to fix something in their apartment, they're gonna suck up to you and be like, you're the most amazing person ever, you're the best landlord, blah, 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 blah. But Jess isn't doing that. And I think a lot of people miss that nuance. They just think that she is a suck up, like who's gonna bring cupcakes to his, you know, little dungeon thing in the basement. On the surface, it looks like she's just constantly complimenting him. But if you really observe the things that Jess says to him, she's simply just expressing honest truth. But that honest truth is her understanding why the person is the way that they are. And there's no incentive behind that. There's no manipulation. It's just, it gives the person freedom to say no, right? She's not pushing him into anything. She's not manipulating him into a decision. She's just like, I understand why you're not gonna help us. I understand that this is just how you do things. But now that you're up here, you may as well help us with this thing because it would really, really make a difference. And I feel like with hardened people or cynical people, that combination is very lethal. It really does melt you because it's honest. And there's nothing more disarming than honesty and just someone's willingness to understand you. Like, that makes you feel like you could actually warm up to them because you don't feel like they're trying to get something out of you. They kind of just lay it all out there. I'm not your enemy. I show you this through how I'm able to see you and understand you. This is what I want from you. And I want it because it would really help me out a lot. And I hope you help me, but I understand if you don't. Like when you lay it out that plainly, it allows someone to feel more safe to step into that space with you and interact with you and help you out and like be a little bit more forthright or forthcoming. And the irony of this is that the type of compassion and communication Jess exhibits to other people, like the landlord, that Nick is trying to convince her is like irrational and people are bad and she's delusional, right? Like that's the same communication she uses for Nick, the same sort of understanding she uses for him, and is the exact reason why they work together and why she helps Nick grow as a person and help Nick expand his ability to accept love and give love.
I should have seen a divorce coming. You know, we stopped doing the little things, like talking. One day we were humping and everything changed. We weren't humping.
That must have been really hard.
You know, it was what it was.
Come on, Remy.
It was
hard.
Like we've learned more about the landlord and his personal details in the very few interactions Jess had with him than through the guys describing the landlord. Technically speaking, the three guys has known the landlord a lot longer. They've had more experience with him. But their view of the landlord is just he's a mean guy and doesn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all we know of him. Like we just have this idea of a person rather than actually seeing him as a person. And what Jess does is through her simple observations of another person that's unbiased, like these attributes aren't her trying to paint him like he's a great guy and he's not mean and scary. They're just objective observations. He has a tattoo with the name Remy in it, so I think that's his name. He seems very busy with things. He seems very resourceful. He seems, you know, all these kind of things. And she's not necessarily saying they're good, but they're just things that she notices, right? And that's the thing, is when you personalize someone, when you humanize them and you show, I notice these things about you, it allows them more capacity to show up positively with you because they know that you don't just paint them out as a bad person. Does that make sense? And that's the other side of it. Like, how many of you guys are more willing to be open and more warm towards other open-minded people that are willing to let you show them who you are and they see the humanity in you versus someone who already just writes you off as defensive, mean, cold, and whatever. Like you probably are just going to be like, whatever. They think I'm mean. I'm not even going to bother at that point because at that point, I'm just convincing someone that I'm not a mean person. Whereas when someone's just open-minded and they don't look to immediately judge you as a person and as a character, you're more open to therefore like show them who you are. And that's the beauty of what Jess does, is she doesn't just delusionally think people are good. She just provides space for someone to show other aspects of themselves outside of just being a cold, mean person. And she does that through humanizing them.
All right, give it a shot.
Great.
Here, I'll help. Yeah. I'll brace you. Go back.
Okay.
Use your hips. Come on.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, that'll do it. Hey, Jess, can I talk to you for a minute alone?
So what's up? Ready to admit you were wrong? Hello, my name is Nick and I like eating crow.
That man wants to sleep with you.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he
He was
does.
just showing me how to close
Okay,
the closet.
anytime a man shows a woman how to do something from behind, it's just an excuse for him to get really close and breathe on her neck.
Nick on the surface is right. People have a tendency to warm up to Jess and do what she wants them to do, and they aren't willing to do the same for him. But what he fails to realize is that people are willing to open up to Jess and help her out because she's willing to do something for them that Nick isn't willing to do for them. She's willing to humanize them. She's willing to see them. She's willing to understand them. And because she's willing to do that, they're willing to help her out as well and show up for her. And they're not willing to do that for Nick because he's not willing to understand them and see them. He just paints them out as a bad person. Like, come on, just do your job, help us out. And then the landlord's like, not you, her. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's the downside to being cynical sometimes, is you genuinely think you're being realistic and you're the only logical one because you see reality. Like, the pattern is, he doesn't help me, he helps her. Everyone helps her, but not me. Like, yes, that is what plays out, but the why behind it. Why do these things happen? And part of understanding the why is accepting that you could be choosing and doing otherwise, but you're not for whatever reason. Like, in order for Nick to expand his view and perspective, he has to be willing to see Jess only gets her way because she's open to other people and humanizes them. And I'm being shut down again and again because I'm not willing to do that same thing. But Nick chooses to think that that's delusion and that's not realistic and that's not reality. And again, who's the more realistic one at the end of the day?
Oh, no, you're doing it all wrong. Here, let me show you. No, I've been doing this for years. So the way to pick up a mug is like that. You just gotta relax into it.
He wasn't doing that.
That's exactly what he was doing.
You always see the worst in people.
Yeah, because people are the worst.
Whoa, $5. Look out, college, here I come. That's it. People stink.
You must have been doing something.
Are you seriously defending the man who pushed me into the bushes?
Look, people can be good. You just have to give them a chance to show you.
Hey, little girl. You like candy?
I sure do.
Great. My Nana made way too much.
Why can't you admit you were wrong? I was nice, and now he's fixing our apartment.
I'm working up an appetite in there. Boy, I hope you don't mind the smell of a real man in your room. Let me know when you want to get started on that bed.
Okay. He's turning my mattress.
Yeah.
See, this is the importance of holding multiple truths at once, because both people are right. Like, Jess is right. She was nice to him and now he's fixing the things in their apartment. Nick is also right. He wants to sleep with her. But the thing is he probably wants to sleep with her because he hasn't felt emotionally connected with another human, let alone a woman, in probably so long, if not ever. And so that translates into, I want to connect with you in other ways, right? But like, again, I think the imbalance comes from when you try to deny reality, regardless of which end you're on. Like, the key is to hold multiple realities at the same time. Jess is denying that this man would want to sleep with her because she's so used to hearing Nick catastrophize and seeing the worst in people. And so she's used to being like, you literally jump into these craziest conclusions. And Nick is like, you thinking everyone has a good side to them is delusional as well. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to be nuanced enough to say, you know what, this person is a mean, scary person, but as soon as you give them a chance to feel safe enough, they will be nice to you. But at the same time, the way that he's responding to my warmth is not appropriate. It makes me uncomfortable because now he wants to sleep with me and I feel uncomfortable with that. And it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to be nuanced because if I was in Jess's position, I would immediately feel uncomfortable to be nice to him anymore because in my mind, I would be like, I can't even be nice to another person without them wanting to sexualize me or sleep with me. And that makes me not want to be nice to them because there's like a trade-off that I'm not agreeing to here. You know, like, I was only willing to be nice to you if this was just a normal platonic relationship and you weren't going to sexualize it. But yeah.
The funniest thing just happened. I was watching Remy fix the sink and I got totally soaked.
You were so wet.
Man overboard.
And I think sometimes where that autistic naivete comes from, and I want to be able to distinguish the difference between being naive and being logical, right? Because logical stems from, I understand why you do what you do, and therefore I understand your capacity to be a good person and a bad person. But I think where you cross that line into naivete is when you need someone to directly show you something in order to believe it's true. I think sometimes when you're autistic, you want to see someone for who they are. And therefore, if someone hasn't shown you an aspect of themselves yet, you don't want to like draw that conclusion. Does that make sense? So Jess isn't going to immediately think that he's doing what he's doing, like turning her mattress, fixing her things, because he's sexually attracted to her. She's just going to think, oh, I showed him compassion and now he's being nice to return the favor. For Jess, she wouldn't think that he wants to have sex with her until he directly says it. And then that's when she's like, oh shit, he wants to have sex with me. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes when you're autistic, it's hard to know when you're allowed to draw a conclusion and make an assumption versus when you're almost letting a person cross certain boundaries too much because you're giving them too many benefits of the doubt, you know? And I think that's why a lot of the times autistic folks are easier to manipulate or abuse. It's not that we don't see the signs, right? We see the signs, we see what's happening, but the social deficit comes in not immediately attaching a conclusion to the observed signs. Does that make sense? So I see that this person is so willing to help me and they're willing to spend all day with me and eat dinner with me, but I won't immediately assume that he's doing that because he wants to have sex with me. That's the social deficit, you know? And so therefore, Jess and people like Jess or autistic folks can be taken advantage of more easily because people get further along before we have that realization and draw boundaries. Whereas for other people who might be more socially fluent, masked, non-autistic, they would see those signs and make those assumptions 10 steps ahead and stop it there so that it doesn't have the ability to progress. And so, yeah, I think the ability to give someone the benefit of the doubt stems from the ability to be understanding of people and not make assumptions of them, which I think is really, really, amazing in some instances. But again, this is a neutral trait. It has the ability to cause harm and to heal. For half the episode, we saw the positive aspects of being understanding and compassionate. And now we're seeing the other side of it, which is you could be taken advantage of more easily because you're not willing to immediately jump into a negative conclusion just because someone's doing things that you perceive as just neutral, objective things. I hope that makes sense.
So I invited Remy over for dinner to thank him for all the stuff he's been doing around the apartment. Who's in?
I got
a boat, so.
So I guess it'll just be me and Jess.
Oh no, Remy. I changed my mind. I'll be there. Just watching you.
Remy brought a bottle of this.
I ferment things in the basement. I also make cheese.
You're not drinking that, Jess.
Yes, I am. Remy made it.
Think you can handle some,
Oh,
Nick?
I'm okay. Somebody needs to stay sober to fight you later.
Nick, be nice. How hard could it be to just open yourself up a little bit? Dip your toe in the pool of possibilities.
Yeah, Nick. Dip your toe.
You guys have a lot in common. Nick went through a breakup last year that was really hard on him. Schmidt said your mom had to fly out.
That was a scheduled trip.
Did you smell your girl on your sheets for months until they were too soaked through with your own sweat and tears?
No.
Did you punch out all the windows until you hit the wall and broke your hand? Did you go out looking for companionship, a little human warmth, only to come to in the woods, covered in animal blood?
In my own way.
Come here, man. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Nick is weirded out because he sees a glimpse of what makes him him. This guy is mean, but he's mean because he's been through a lot and he was hurt a lot. And I think Nick doesn't know how to make peace with multiple truths. He understands what it's like to suffer. And so when he sees that this other person he villainizes has also suffered in similar ways, Nick is just like questioning his reality. He's like, what's going on? Is he a good person or bad person? Because I'm relating to him. And if I relate to him, that means I'm a bad person. If I see him as a bad person, trust me, you guys, life will ironically be a lot simpler when you accept that We're all just people. We all do things that cause harm to ourselves, cause harm to other people. Some people do it willingly. Most people don't. Most people do things because they genuinely haven't thought about it, or they thought they were doing something right and it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to.
Oh man, tonight is just, I honestly didn't know if I'd ever enjoy myself again. So, thanks. Bathroom break.
See? I was right.
What do you mean you're right?
You're wrong.
You see the way he's buttering me up so he can move in on you?
Why can't you just admit that you were wrong?
How have you lived this long on your own?
There's no part of that man that wants to sleep with me.
He's been creeping on you all night.
No, he hasn't been.
Open your eyes, like I'm worried about.
See, that's the interesting thing. The reason why they're arguing on who's right and wrong is because Nick wants Jess to be protected, whereas Jess wants Nick to open up to love, accept love, and give love. They're both taking care of each other, but in different ways. Nick is like, the world is bad, people are bad, I want to make sure you're going to be okay. Jess is like, the world is good, people are good, and I want you to see that, accept it, and feel that love and be supported and feel the freedom to give love to others as well. Both are positive, both are right, both are also wrong in certain situations.
Oh.
Hey, Remy, what happened to your pants?
I've never done a threesome. That's what we're doing here, right?
This I did not expect. I love watching you be wrong, Jess.
I might have been a little bit off about Remy, but people are generally good, and I am not wrong about that.
Jess, people are jerks.
He is hurting from his divorce.
Are you still making excuses for this guy?
See, I hate when people say that stuff. I hate when people say you're making excuses for someone when you just simply understand why they are making the decisions they're making. Because you're not saying it's good or bad. You're not saying like it's okay that he's doing all these things. What you're saying is he's doing these things because of this. Jess isn't saying Nick is wrong. She's just saying this is why he is the way he is. And generally speaking, people are good people. She's not saying people don't have the capacity to be bad or do wrong things. She's just saying there's reasons why people make wrong choices. There's reasons why someone is the way they are, and they have the capacity to also be otherwise. But Nick is just like, you're wrong. People are jerks. He wants to sleep with you. Stop making excuses. Like, he's, again, trying to draw multiple conclusions that I feel like it's just, I don't know. Like, to a certain extent, yes, it's realistic, because at the end of the day, if someone wants to sleep with you and you don't want to sleep with them, that's creepy, and you got to draw boundaries and stuff like that. But I feel like you could still draw boundaries and still respond how you would need to respond and protect yourself, while also being able to understand that it's not as simple as this is a bad person, someone's a jerk, and they're out to harm me. It's like, oh, there's a misunderstanding here, and there's always a misunderstanding. How can I understand more? How can I better respond to this, you know? And there's no right or wrong answer. Sometimes you have the capacity to understand, sometimes you don't. If you don't have the capacity, it's okay. You don't need to understand someone. You could just draw the boundaries and be like, I don't know what's going on with you, but no. And other times you might have the capacity to be like, you know what? I'm not happy with this, but let me understand why you are the way you are. But the key is to know that there isn't a definitive right or wrong answer. There's just, you either understand someone or you don't. And you respond to every situation however you need to honor your own boundaries, you know? And it's going to be different every time. And I think the issue comes from when you feel like one shoe fits all. Nick thinks that everyone's bad, everyone's a jerk, so you have to respond to everyone in the same ways. And if you don't do that, you're wrong. And Jess is so understanding to a point where she may not know where to draw the line, because she will always understand why someone crossed that line to begin with. The key is to be able to understand why someone may cross lines, while also knowing that when you have a line and someone crosses it, you have the right to put up walls, draw boundaries, and communicate that if that were to happen, even if you understand what brought that person across the line to begin with.
Well, look, if you feel so bad, then just get in there. Just dip your toe into the pool of possibility. Hey, Remy, let's get weird and toss that ball around, huh? So turned on.
Okay, you would seriously have a threesome with that man just to get me to admit that I'm wrong?
Oh, I think we could do a lot worse than Remy. He's got strong arms.
Let's have a threesome.
All right, so a menage a trois is about 3 of us.
Sure.
See, at this point, it's not even about Remy. It's about getting each other to see each other's views. Nick is trying to prove to Jess that Remy's an asshole, and Jess is trying to get Nick to understand that there's more to life than his viewpoint. Again, that's the difference between Nick and Jess, is that Nick is trying to get Jess to inherit the same exact beliefs as him, whereas Jess is trying to get Nick to see that there's more than just what he believes. And what he believes isn't the only right way to believe.
Trois, menaging fully.
What?
Okay, this is happening with this guy. This is happening right now, Jess.
Yeah.
So it's gonna get even a little more uncomfortable. We just have to keep talking with each other, all right? Around and communicating. Let's get some relaxed music going,
Great
okay?
idea.
All right.
Great idea. Thank you.
Please, just admit that he's a good guy. We are about to just say that he's a good guy.
Yeah, get into it.
Oh, I am so into this. I can't wait till we're all menaging. Are you into this, Jess?
Yeah.
Say you're on.
No, turn this up. It's great.
Say it's over and it's over.
Okay, don't get nervous, Nick. It's just a regular conversation we're having, except I'm rubbing your back.
That's right.
And then I'm gonna start unbuttoning your pants. And then I'm gonna unbutton my shirt. I'm not gonna take my underpants off, though. Not right away. I'm gonna keep my underpants on until I let you take my underpants off, Nick Miller, okay? Because you are gonna be the underpants captain tonight.
Makes sense.
Great choice, Remy. Nick will make a fantastic underpants captain.
Let's bring it. Okay. You two get us started.
Me and Jess get it started.
Yeah. All right?
Us two.
Go ahead.
Getting it
You
started.
know what to do. Breathe into each other. I'm not here.
Relax into the menage.
Let's get this started, Nick.
Are you doing this?
Yes.
Together.
'Cause
Are
I'm gonna-
you doing this?
Yes, I will
All
do
right.
it.
Okay, we're gonna do
Then
this.
let's do this.
Nick, I will do this.
Say that you're wrong and it's over.
I'm not wrong.
Jess, you can't do this, but I can.
Okay, let's do this, Nick.
Then let's do it,
I can
Jess.
do it. No, okay, fine. I admit it. I'm wrong.
Yes! Yes!
I'm sorry, Remy.
What, we're not doing this?
We're not
No.
doing it.
I get it. Cold feet is just, it's part.
To be honest, I'm kind of riding a weird ego high.
See, at least Nick knew that it was about his ego. And that's the difference. That's why Jess is the one that caved in and said she was wrong first, because it wasn't about her ego. She was doing that because she wants Nick to be more open. Like, it was for Nick, actually. Like, that whole thing, this whole episode was her doing it for Nick's benefit because she wants him to be able to accept and give love. But Nick was doing all of that, yes, like in a sense to protect Jess, but mostly it was for his own ego. Like, he wants to be right. And that's why he said, I'm riding an ego high right now. Whereas I feel like if Jess were to have won that debate, she wouldn't care too much about the ego high. Like, she doesn't care about being right. She would have just liked that Nick had some sort of catharsis about how people are generally good people. But yes, you guys, that is the end of today's episode. If you enjoyed my commentary on New Girl and you like the way that I use TV show characters to essentially talk about the autistic experience, please consider becoming a member to my channel or joining the Patreon, where you will be able to gain access to more videos like this where I am reacting to TV shows, autistic coded characters, and continuing the discussion through that. Regardless, make sure you guys take some time today to drink some water, eat some food, take yourself on a walk, stim, regulate yourselves, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.